Hi, I'm Danny Vieira from Modern Manna Ministries and Bella Vita Lifestyle Center. We have today a presentation that I'm going to do on colon cleansing. Years ago, I did a national infomercial called Almighty Cleanse. It was a blockbuster infomercial where we introduced a couple products where you could clean your colon very effectively at home. Well, today I want to take you through my years of research, my years of experience on the many different ways that you can clean the colon. So the first thing that I want to present to you is that I believe that a high fiber diet is the easiest way to keep your colon swept and clean. So I have here just a number of fruits and vegetables, just emphasizing that the God-given foods from the garden contain fiber. Fiber's undigested matter within these foods that's going to work like an intestinal broom, so you can sweep out your intestines very effectively. And for instance, there's pectin and fiber in an apple, and not only does it work as an intestinal broom, but it also works to bind with heavy metals and to lower cholesterol within the body. So these wonderful foods here that God gave us are very high in fiber. And now I want to talk about other things that you can do for colon cleansing. Not only should you have a high fiber diet, you should get plenty of water. You need to get exercise. You need to get movement. And so the high fiber diet, lots of water, exercise is very important to have normal bowel function. Now, the medical profession says there's no reason that we need to have a bowel movement every day. And I totally disagree with that. We eat 3 meals a day and we have no bowel movement in a day. I think one of the perfect examples is from a child, a baby. After you breastfeed a baby, within minutes, they have an elimination. And so 30 minutes after we eat, by chewing, we create peristalsis. You know, it activates the wave-like motions within the bowel to move food along so you will evacuate. So a baby's a great example to the proper colon function that we should have as human beings. So I want you to understand that a high fiber diet, the exercise, lots of water, these are all critical for normal bowel function. And I think, according to natural healers and naturopaths, that you should have anywhere from 2 to 4 bowel movements a day. I actually have a slide from Hippocrates, the father of medicine, and it says right on that slide that Hippocrates said we should have 3 bowel movements in a day and 1 in the night. So that was 4. I also have some good friends that are very renowned natural healers that traveled the world to find out what is the healthiest bowel function, and they went to different cultures and different places where there was no bowel disease, there was no colon cancer, and they found that the people in those cultures were having 3 to 4 bowel movements a day. So we're living in a country that says that 3 to 5 bowel movements a week is considered normal now. Can you imagine? 3 to 5 a week? Well, what are some of the natural things that you can do to have healthy eliminations and cleanse the system? So let's say that you're eating a high fiber diet and you're not having the proper elimination that you would desire. Or let's say you just want to do a good colon cleanse, a good colon flush. Well, if you have children and children are a bit constipated, I use something as simple as prunes. Just by adding prunes to the diet, we all know about the effect of prunes to help you go to the bathroom. And so we can use prunes. We also use figs, we use dried fruits, but also a prune juice. Now this is 100% prune juice, and I like to sometimes warm it for people. You know, take it on an empty stomach, drink a big glass of prune juice, it's nice and warm. And this is very effective in helping to cleanse the colon as well. So something as simple as high fiber foods, prunes, prune juice is very, very effective. Something else that you can use that's very inexpensive and very effective is Epsom salts. You can buy it at any grocery store, at drugstores, pharmacies, and right on the label of the Epsom salts, it tells you how to use it. And in this product, it says here that you take 1 or 2 to 4 level teaspoons dissolved in a full glass or 8 ounces of water for an adult and children 12 years or older. So we've used Epsom salts many times, and these Epsom salts are very effective because magnesium is a muscle relaxant, and it can relax that colon. So just a large glass of Epsom salts, and we'll even add lemon juice to it. Makes it a little more palatable, and they drink it right down, and I'd use warm water as well. That's a very effective way to move the bowels. Very inexpensive. Another product that has been used by grandmothers and others for many years is castor oil. This is a very easy product to take, just 2 tablespoons by mouth, and it should help move the bowels. Now, castor oil may not be your first choice, but it is effective. You see, if you get somebody who's very constipated and you're trying to cleanse them out, and the prunes aren't working, and the Epsom salts aren't working, then what I recommend is try a different natural remedy. So the castor oil is very effective. Even in the Gerson therapy, they will use castor oil orally, and then they'll put it in an enema bucket so that they'll get it, in the large intestine, also down into the small intestine, so that it does a full cleanse of the GI tract. We have sold for many years our intestinal formula or bowel formulas number 1 and 2. Now, these are very, very effective. You see people like Dr. Richard Schultz, John Christopher, Bernard Jensen. I was just watching a presentation on VE irons, on these different cleansing agents that you can use that are effective in herbal form. So we have a bowel formula number 1 here, and this is a capsule formula, very easy to take, see? And you start out with 1 capsule with dinner, and you increase it by 1 extra capsule each night. And the rule that you usually say is you have increased frequency and increased mass. So the goal would to have that 2 to 4 bowel movements a day, better yet 3 a day. And you simply take these capsules that contain aloe, barberry, cascara sagrada, garlic bulb, senna, Turkish rhubarb, black walnut hulls, cloves, fennel, ginger, wormwood, and cayenne. So these herbs are very effective, again, to stimulate the large intestine, that it will evacuate its contents. So it even re-educates the bowel. That's pretty interesting. And in this formula here, we have in here black walnut, Turkish rhubarb, and wormwood. So there's even herbs in here that help with parasites. So this is a very effective product. Many, 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 many people around the world have used this product, and they're very satisfied and very happy with the results. While we're taking these herbs to move the bowel, we also include a bowel formula number 2 that has bentonite clay, psyllium husk, flax seeds, apple pectin, slippery elm bark, marshmallow root. And this is a product that's not only going to help cleanse the colon, the large intestine, it's going to help break down that matter on the walls of the colon, clean out the pockets of the colon. And what it does is it swells. The herbs in here have what's called a mucilaginous effect. They will swell to many times their size as they hold water, but they will draw out the impurities, the drug residues, the heavy metals, even radioactive waste out of the colon. So we pack the colon with 5 scoops of this a day for 5 days while taking the bowel formula number 1. That's going to move the bowels, and this is going to sweep the bowels. This is a cleanser and a half. This is a powerful healer. And so I love this product here with the psyllium husk, and especially the bentonite clay and the charcoal that's in this product. Now, bentonite clay is also called montmorillonite clay. Montmorillonite clay or volcanic ash. Now, how I learned about the value of bentonite clay is I had a farmer come into my health store years ago, and he said that he would take liquid bentonite, that's the clay, in water solution, and he'd get a meat baster, and when his cows gave birth to calves and they were toxic, he would squirt a few of these meat baster full of bentonite into the mouth of those calves, and it would cleanse the intestine, absorb the impurities or the poisons and the toxins within the calf's body, and the calf would live. I mean, otherwise that calf was going to die. So I would always say, well, if that bentonite clay can help the calves, why can't it help people? So bentonite is in this Modern Manna Bowel Formula, #2 formula, and this is a very powerful cleanser. This combined with the charcoal can absorb many times its weight in toxic matter. Another product that I want to show is just, when you go into the hospitals, what do they give you? A fleet enema. And this again is to wash out the intestines and to help cleanse it fast, because maybe there's going to be some surgery, or there's just some people in there that are constipated. So they may use a fleet enema in here. Another thing that we have used in cleansing is what we call our isotonic beverage. And this is 64 ounces of water in a half-gallon jug. But the 1/3 of this is ocean water and 2/3 is fresh water. We call it an isotonic beverage. We'll add lemon to it. It's nice and hot. And you drink this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, always on an empty stomach, because these sphincters in the stomach, the cardiac and the pyloric sphincter, are open. So that water, nice and warm, will travel through the stomach, through the small intestine, into the large intestine, will help quickly evacuate the bowels. And if you do use fresh ocean water, make sure you purify it. Make sure that you boil it, kill any bacteria. We also add drops of a product called Aerobic 07, which is liquid stabilized oxygen. We'll add it even to kill bacteria. This is very effective in that sense. Now you can also use 2 tablespoons of Celtic salt. Celtic salt, get a good salt that has all the minerals in there, and you can put it to 64 ounces of water, make the same type of solution with the lemon, nice and warm, and drink this down as quick as you can. Just the conventional enema bag. This is very effective in cleansing the colon. And I'll just show you here. I picked this up at Walmart for about $6. And this enema bag is just your conventional hot water bag, douche bag, and also your enema bag. So it's easy to assemble. And you can give yourself enemas just using a simple enema bag, all right? So we always tell people, get down on a towel or a pad, get very comfortable, get a nice lubricant, and, we'll try to use something like our tissue repair ointment instead of a petroleum product. But you typically just take this enema bag and you hang it on the doorknob, and you lay down and you give yourself a nice quick flush this way. This is called like a low enema. It's not a high enema. A high enema will get all the way over to the ascending colon, and that's more with a machine like a colonic machine that I'll speak about in a few moments here. So an enema bag is very effective. Even coffee enemas, people will use these and lay on their right side. And the coffee enema is not specifically for colon cleansing, it's for liver detoxification. So on our website at modernmanna.org, you can type in on the search box coffee enema, and all the instructions are right there. So moving on from these enema bag here, that I will go now to an enema bucket. Now, what's the advantage of an enema bucket? The advantage of the enema bucket is that you can see through it. So you would set this one on your counter, like so, and you have your tube here. And if you notice the tube on this that comes with this enema bucket, it's, very pliable. It bends easy. In fact, here's your end for the tube on the enema bucket. And it has a number of holes in there. It even has some lubricant on there already. But this can go in and actually twist within the colon, so you can get quite a bit of this in you. Typically, they will insert it about 2.5 inches to 3 inches within the colon. But, even to go in about 4 or 5 inches is good, all right? So this will work very effectively. And instead of a shutoff valve, you simply have a mechanism that pinches it off like that, so you stop the flow. All right, so an enema bucket is something, again, that you can see that all the solution's in you, and it's easy access in case you wanted to add other things in it while you're getting that. But you got to be careful, because in some cases you can knock it off and you can spill. This is an interesting tip that I have found, and very, very soft, very pliable. In fact, I have inserted this whole tip within my large intestine. All right? You lubricate it very well. You can work it. You don't even feel it, and it bends, and it goes through, the turns, and you can get it in. Now, in some cases, if a person's very constipated, let's say they've been on painkillers, and these painkillers have paralyzed those natural wave-like motions of the bowel, that I have seen people take a tip like this. You simply hook it on the end of either this end by pushing it into this larger part of the tip, or even the one that comes within the enema bag. I can take the tip here. Let me show you this within this product, and I can actually stick it in here and extend this tip, and it's very effective. Now, at times when somebody's very constipated, you can lubricate this very well, and they're impacted. So you can use it in and out, trying to break through the impaction. But you can also, once you break through that impaction, you can let the solution out of that enema bucket or enema bag above that impaction. And what I do is I will get an enema bucket and I will put in some ivory soap, and I will just get this hot water, very soapy and very slippery, and then I'll take this long tip and I'll use this bucket and I'll insert it very gently, breaking through that blockage, getting it up at the top, and then letting all that soapy solution out to lubricate, and many times that will work to break up an impaction within your colon. So there's another technique there. Here's another product that I have called the Kalema board. Now, a Kalema board is not a colonic. It is an enema. All right? And the advantage of the Kalema board is that the person can lay down on it. Say you have somebody who can't get up and down off the ground, or somebody who's weaker, somebody who's elderly. So this is a device, and I'm going to show a little DVD about this at the end of this presentation, that you set one side on the toilet, the other one on a chair, and the person lays down comfortably on their back with a nice soft pad, and we drape it with a towel. All right? They put their feet in these compartments here with their knees up, and then you put another towel over them and you drape them. So you can drape the person. You have a cover here to keep things clean. It goes right over the table. And you use a tip that comes with the Kalema board. And look at this tip. It's hard. And it actually will hook into the hose coming out of here. So the person sits down. It will insert about this far. But the advantage of this, again, is comfort for somebody who can't do a conventional enema. The other thing is you never have to take the tip out. So whether they have to urinate or they're going to pass feces, it passes right off the tip, goes down the compartment, right into the toilet. So this is a very wonderful unit too, called a Kalema board, that I think can be very, very effective, all right, in intestinal cleansing. So moving on from this Kalema board, I want to talk a bit about, this is a colonic machine. Now, these can cost about $5,000, but the difference with a colonic machine is you need a colonic therapist. You need a colon hygienist, somebody who is trained, licensed, that's actually, can give this type of treatment, and they have actually been trained. You don't want to just go down and do a colonic, because the difference between the Kalema board and the colonic machine is this is gravity fed. You have a 5-gallon bucket above the Kalema board, and 5 gallons is through gravity going into a person's colon, where this is now hooked to water lines. This can be have a lot of pressure. So you need a technician, or like I said, a colon hydrotherapist or a colon therapist that's been trained to regulate the water pressure in and out. And they use a hose that's quite different, quite big, but you can see in this hole, they can slow it down till you can see if something peculiar is coming through. that they can look and say, oh, that's a watermelon seed. Have you eaten watermelons? Maybe parasites. So this again needs a technician, and you go to somebody's, you know, place, their business place where they're doing, colon therapy, and you make an appointment, and usually you're there for maybe an hour and a half, but they check the temperature of the water, the pressure of the water. This is a very powerful machine and very, very effective machine too. So I wanted to show you today everything from prune juice to a colonic machine. But see the many different ways that you can cleanse the colon. Colonics, I would use it if I absolutely had to. Personally, in my experience, yes, if I can't open up a person, then you get somebody who's trained, and that person can help undo those blockages and clean out that colon. But my preference in cleansing is that you're using a combination of enemas, perhaps coffee enemas for your liver. But I really like when you're taking a product that can swell within the intestines and draw out the impure matter within the intestines, and something as simple as herbs that's going to flush those intestines out. Now, I say the seawater cleanse, that isotonic beverage, to me, that's like a colonic from this hole instead of from the other hole. You take that beverage and all that 64 ounces is going to wash you out. And so we'll see people take the seawater beverage, the isotonic drink. They'll do it for 3 to 5 days while they're packing their colon for 3 to 5 days. So this swells inside, loosens up all the matter within the intestines, absorbs the toxins, the chemicals, helps kill the parasites, and then that seawater cleanse, that isotonic beverage, just kind of washes it completely out. And so to me, this is easier than going and making an appointment and having to sit there with that type of pressure in my colon. I don't find a colonic that comfortable for me personally. But that would be something that can be used if you absolutely had to, or somebody who just has been blocked up. But I don't think in 1 hour you're going to really clean that colon. So they're going to tell you that you need to come back for a series of colonics, when I find it's very effective at home just to use something of this nature, maybe a simple $6 enema bag to loosen things out and detoxify the liver with a coffee enema. Now, what can you do to maintain a healthy colon? Well, let me step around here a minute and just show you something that I recommend to people all the time, and that is just psyllium husks. This is from the psyllium seed. It's the outer husk of the psyllium seed, and again, it has a mucilaginous effect. So if I were to take some water, put it in a glass, and add myself, let's say, a couple tablespoons of psyllium husk. This is a great maintenance of fiber. And I recommend that you take yourself about, see how easy that mixed? About 8 to 10 ounces of water. You can fill it with water if you like. And before bed every night or in the morning, you take 2 tablespoons of psyllium husk, take it in the morning and the night. You're going to see increased bowel movements. You're going to see fuller bowels. You're going to have a great intestinal broom that's going to sweep out a lot of the impurities too and keep you regular. Very simple to take. There's really no taste to it. And you can mix it with a little apple juice and it becomes very, very tasty. The other thing, as I said, we use is the bowel formula number 2 with the charcoal and the bentonite. And I just want to show you this again. See how easy this one is to take also? You simply add the water to the glass. And you can also, another effective way to take these bulking agents is to get a jar with just a lid on a jar. Always add your water first, because you notice I didn't put in the fiber first, because it can really clump up. It can really clump up. So I add the water first, then I would add my fiber. And in the jar, you just shake it like this, mixes that fast. And this product, once it's mixed, you want to drink it down right away because the psyllium husk that's in this bowel formula number 2 is going to swell up. And that's exactly what it's going to do within you. It's going to swell. It's going to increase the volume of the colon or the volume in the colon of the fiber that you're taking. But, you know, if you don't drink enough water, it can get a little hard. So always drink a lot of water during the day, especially when you're doing any colon cleansing. See how easy that was? So now I have an intestinal purifier. It's pulling out heavy metals, drug residues. It has pectin in here to draw the heavy metals. Also, lots of psyllium. That's going to swell and sweep my colon. And then that bentonite clay that can hold 40 times its weight in toxic matter. So these are the different products that I would recommend to you that if you wanted to do colon cleansing or you just wanted to increase the fiber to your diet, that you keep your colon swept. Very, very effective, very, very powerful. So get yourself a good book on home remedies. This one here talks about enemas, talks about retention enemas. It's by Agatha Thrash and the late Calvin Thrash. It's a very good book, and we're going to be talking about hydrotherapy and be using this book as one of our manuals in the next few days. Get yourself another good book on colon health and colon cleansing. Here's one by Dr. Norman Walker that is very, very good. Another one is Tissue Cleansing Through Bowel Management by Bernard Jensen. I like this book too because there are some wonderful pictures in here that tell quite a story in this book. And some people get kind of grossed out when they look at some of the pictures in this book, but he shows you the effectiveness in here of cleansing. But just look at some of those pictures. Amazing. And when I show you the DVD here in a few minutes on how to use the Colema machine, you're going to see some more pictures in there of what comes out of people's bodies. So I think that, you know, this God-given organ that's to keep our bodies clean because of the lifestyle in this world today has become very polluted. So do we want colons of this nature or do we want colons of this nature? So get more educated when it comes to colon cleansing. Drink that water, eat a plant-based diet, get that exercise, increase the psyllium husk in your diet. That will be very effective to keep you maintain, you know, a maintenance program to keep you swept out and keep you clean. You know, I also use in my enema buckets, I can use different things like herbs. I'll use grapefruit seed extract that has the ability to kill bacteria. Garlic. I will boil garlic and strain it and take that water and even add it to my enema solution at times if I'm feeling problems within my stomach, or maybe, you know, there's a bacterial problem. People with diarrhea, maybe it's a good idea that they do something that will go in and disinfect. So you can add salt. You can add, you know, a good healthy salt, the grapefruit seed extract. You can take the garlic, even drops of this liquid stabilized oxygen. So there's different ways of taking enemas, different ways of doing retention enemas, using the enemas for cleaning the liver, and even with children. If you're careful, you can use enema bags at low pressure and gently insert it into your child, you know, and wash them out just as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's presentation on how to cleanse the colon, how to have a healthy and happy colon. And I just want to say, if you have any questions or you want more information in regards to colon cleansing, simply contact us at modernmanna.org. That's www.modernmanna.org. And if you would like to receive my free newsletter every week called The Elijah Prophecy, just go to our website and just put your email address right there by The Elijah Prophecy. And every week you'll get a free newsletter and you'll know where we'll be speaking, where we're going to be doing raw food demonstrations, and when our next programs are. So thank you so much for joining us. We're now going to watch this instructional video on how to use this machine, the Colema board. So I hope you enjoy that presentation as well. So God bless you. Take care of your bodies. They are the temple of the Holy Ghost. Thanks.
Thank you for purchasing a Kalima Board's patented home enema kit. You have taken an important step towards a healthier life. So many aspects of our health are dependent upon the proper functioning of the colon. This Kalima Board is used to administer a high enema, colonic, or Kalima. This procedure is one of the safest, most inexpensive, and is the most effective method of keeping this vital organ clean and free of debris, mucus, bacteria, and the poisons that are subsequently created. When the colon is clean, the immune system will function more efficiently and the body will be in dynamic health. Well, let's get started. Check your assembly instructions to make sure you have all the parts listed on the front page. The tubing assembly contains 2 disposable plastic tips. You may purchase a stainless steel tip which can be sterilized and reused indefinitely. Also, take a moment to read the important warning notices located on the instruction sheet. In addition to what was included in the kit, you're going to need a few extra items. A clean 5-gallon bucket may be purchased at a hardware store or obtained from a restaurant or bakery. A chair, a couple of towels, a pillow, and a lubricant such as olive oil, a commercial lubrication gel, or bentonite salve. This soothing bentonite salve is available for purchase through Kalima Boards. We'll explain later about some optional items you may want, such as a kitchen colander, a tennis ball, an electric massager or some other massaging device, a stainless steel tip, and a comfort pad. A comfort pad is included with a deluxe board only, but it can be purchased separately. For the original and folding Kalima Board models, the first step is to assemble the splash guard. Begin by removing the washers and wing nuts from the screws on the splash guard. To insert the splash guard into the opening of the Kalima Board, make sure that the face-in sticker is facing inwards toward the hole, and bend it towards you until the screws fit through the holes. Fasten the splash guard to the Kalima Board with the washers and wing nuts. The lid to the splash guard rests on top, unfastened. The Kalima Board is now fully assembled and you are ready to set it up for use. For purpose of explanation, we will be demonstrating the deluxe Kalima Board. We highly recommend that you purchase an ordinary kitchen colander and place it in the toilet bowl before your colonic. This will allow you to see your results and you will come to realize just how effective and important it is to get all this matter out of your body. Now, place the Kalima Board onto the toilet bowl. Support the other end of the board with a chair. A gentle slant towards the toilet is needed. If your bathroom configuration does not allow for this, or if you do not have enough room to set up the board properly on the toilet, you can use a second 5-gallon bucket in place of the toilet. With this setup, you can take your Kalima Board anywhere. Now, attach the water line to the Kalima Board. Take the end of the surgical tubing with the plastic tube on it and push it through the hole in the back of the splash guard. Now, take the small 3-inch piece of surgical tubing and slide it onto the end of the L-shaped tubing inside the splash guard. Don't attach the disposable tip now. We'll do that later. Place the 5-gallon bucket in a position that is 20 to 24 inches above the Kalima Board. You can use a box or several books to accomplish this. The tank of the toilet or nearby countertop will usually work well. If the bucket is placed any higher than 24 inches above the Kalima Board, it could create unnecessarily high water pressure. This is not recommended. Now we need to prepare the water solution. Fill the bucket with lukewarm water. You can place your hand or elbow into the water to make sure that it's at body temperature. 5 gallons of water weighs over 40 pounds, so you may want to fill it using a pitcher. Or shower extension attachment, which can usually be purchased for under $5. Some people prefer to use filtered water. If this is your preference, there are several options for you. You can purify the water by boiling it. This can take a while to cool down to the right temperature. You can attach a water filter to the tap. This lets you control the water temperature. Or you can purchase filtered water at a grocery store. To warm store-bought water, boil a portion of it and pour it in with the rest to bring it to a comfortable temperature. Plain water is suggested. However, some people prefer to use special solutions for their kalima, such as coffee, garlic, lemon, or Epsom salts. An especially effective solution can be prepared by using Vitritox No. 16 detoxicant. This product is a super refined bentonite clay that helps remove toxins and bacteria from the colon. See the assembly instructions for further details. In order for water to flow from the bucket to the kalima board, you must create a siphon. This is done by releasing the clamp on the surgical tubing and running water into the end of the tubing at the copper weight. When water begins running out of the other end, pinch the tubing near the copper-weighted end to hold the water in the line, and place the end back into the bucket and release the tubing. You should see a flow of water coming out of the other end. If you don't, repeat the process, making sure you pinch the tubing hard enough to hold the water in the line before removing it from underneath the running faucet. Another way to create a siphon is by coiling the entire tubing in your bathroom sink. Make sure the clamp is open, turn on the faucet, and hold the copper-weighted end underneath the running water. When water begins to flow from the other end of the tubing, hold both ends of the tubing up in the air with one hand. With the other hand, close the clamp and shut off the water. Then place the copper-weighted end of the tubing into the 5-gallon bucket of water. Now attach the water line to the kalima board. Now take the small 3-inch piece of surgical tubing and slide it onto the end of the L-shaped tubing inside the splash guard. At this point, you should open the clamp and test the siphon. Once the water is flowing properly, close the clamp on the surgical tubing. And now you can insert the disposable tip into the 3-inch tubing with the rounded end facing out. If you have purchased a comfort pad, lay it on the board. You can also lay a towel over the pad so you're not lying directly on the plastic. For extra comfort, you can place a pillow at the head area of the board. And, if desired, you can put a towel nearby to place over your knees for warmth. It takes approximately 45 minutes to 1 hour to exhaust the contents of the 5-gallon bucket, so be sure you are going to be comfortable. The kalima board is capable of holding a substantial amount of weight. However, for over 200 pounds, we recommend supporting the middle of the board with an additional chair or stool. Lubricate the disposable tip with any convenient lubricant, such as olive oil, commercial lubricating gel, or bentonite salve. You may also want to lubricate the rectum itself. Position yourself on the kalima board lying on your back with undergarments removed. While guiding the disposable tip into the rectum with one hand, slide your body towards the splash guard until your buttocks touches the splash guard. The tip should be inserted into the rectum no more than 2.5 to 3 inches. When properly assembled, the design of the tubing prevents the tip from being inserted too far. Now you are ready to use your kalima board. Deep breathing and relaxing are important for the best results. Some people will relax themselves by creating a calm ambiance. With music, candles, reading materials, you can set your own mood. Open the clamp to start the flow of water. Hold the water as long as you can before expelling, allowing normal bowel action. If nature calls for normal bowel or bladder elimination, it is not necessary to remove the tip or get off the board, as both can bypass the tip. The most important thing you can do to ensure good results is to massage the colon thoroughly. Just passing water in and out does not accomplish what is desired. The physical action that is produced by the water in conjunction with the massaging is what really gets the results. You can use your fingertips, the palm of your hand, or some other massaging device such as a tennis ball or an electric massager. Begin massaging the lower abdomen, about 3 inches below the navel. Move toward the left side of the body to the hip bone. Then massage upward on the left side of your abdomen. Come across under the rib cage and down the right side. If you find spots that are sore or tender, Continue to lightly massage those areas until the tenderness is gone. The massaging helps the water move through the entire colon, so you should massage along the colon starting at one end and working towards the other. Try to eliminate sensitive areas as you proceed. If cramping occurs, you may want to close the clamp and wait until the cramping subsides, then continue. Whenever you have the urge to evacuate, simply relax and allow the bowel to empty as it normally would. When you've finished, close the clamp and gently slide your body away from the splash guard, removing the disposable tip from the rectum. Carefully dismount the board. You may now discard the disposable plastic tip. If you have used a colander, you will be able to look at and inspect the material that came out of your body. Don't be alarmed by some of the strange material you might see. It is not unusual to pass rope-like matter that is somewhat lengthy and elastic. It is important to get all of this out of the colon. Your colima board can be cleaned with hot water and liquid detergent. You may also want to wash the board with a good germicidal solution. Do not use abrasive cleansers as they may scratch or dull the surface. Run clear water with a bleach solution through your tubing. Let dry completely before storing. Be sure to store the tubing with the clamp in the open position. With good care, you should receive years of service from your colima board. You have made an important choice and a wise investment in maintaining the health and well-being of you and your family for years to come.
Make sure to order your copies of Danny Vieira's new health booklets available from Modern Manna. To place your order, contact us at 800-655-FACT, F-A-C-T, or online at modernmanna.org.